Can't have the world's greatest entertainer out here without a drink.
Frank Sinatra's here?
Frank is great, but he is no Judy Garland.
In Judy, you play Mickey Deans, who is Judy's last husband, younger guy. What do you think Mickey wanted from Judy? Like, did he love her? Did he see her as a meal ticket? What do you think?
I think there are some people that didn't trust him, that thought that he was looking at her as for sort of Machiavellian reasons. But the more I researched it, I think it's more complicated than that. I think there was a sense of trying to be a part of her legacy and trying to be part of her career in a way, but I do think that was out of love. I do think he genuinely was devoted and in love with her, and that was kind of the way he knew how to show it, was to try to like, let's make these movie theaters that are all with your name, like trying to show her that he was kind of worthy of being with her, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think that he was in it for himself in that way.
Well, there's two things. I mean, one, it was like a different time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, how do you show love in the 60s? You know?
Yeah, especially
like
to a
married
movie
couple.
star, and you have to like remember how big she was. I mean, she was it. She was Beyonce, you know.
Yeah, and he's also trying to like, kind of prove himself, both in her eyes and her eyes as well, in his eyes as well.
Definitely,
Yeah.
I think he was trying to prove himself, and she needed help at that point in her life. She was kind of flailing, and she was like bankrupt, and her career kind of stagnated, and kind of needed like a infusion of, like she needed a second wind, you know. And so that's kind of what the movie is like this sort of comeback for her.
I don't have a home. I can't even get a manager.
London would offer you a lot of money.
Talk of the town is desperate to do a deal with you.
You're saying I have to leave my children if I want to make enough money to be with my children? I would very much like to stay.
The movie shines a light on how poorly Judy was treated, like when she was younger. And even like as she got older, a little bit, it was sort of like, this isn't as much money as you want. You know, go to this like dinner theater with your kids. Did any of that resonate with you? I mean, I know it's a different time. I'd like to think things have gotten better. But are there things where you're like, ooh, long hours, being away from my family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you realize how easy you have it.
Yeah.
But I do think, in a lot of ways, it's part of the reason Judy is so, like, all about trying to give her kids a good childhood, is because she didn't really have a childhood.
Yeah.
And I think the studio system, as it was a machine that kind of ate her up and didn't really care about her as a child. It was just like, you're a product and you're a star, and that's what you're going to be. And so that really has messed her up in the long term, because it got her hooked on uppers and downers, and it's like, how do you make a real relationship, and do you ever have time to like play as a kid? Like, she was always sort of regimented from the time she was like 10 years old or something. So I think it's like a lot about that, about like how we as the entertainment society like treat our children, you know? And I think now there's a lot more care about that.
Yes.
But I think it's still, you know, it's a good reminder to like, the kids need to be kids, you know?
You and Finn Wolfhard are like the new Bill Paxton, Bill Pullman. Paxton Pullman. At least on Twitter. How do you respond to that? And have you met him, and can you prove you're not him?
I can prove I'm not him, because I could probably be his dad. But I get on my like Twitter feed, I get all these things about like, we loved Stranger Things last night. You know, I'm like, that's great. I did too, but I'm not Finn Wolfhard, guys. I promise. We can call him. It's true, we've never been in the same room together, but I promise we're different people.
It's like a time machine situation.
I think. Unless that's like Fight Club, where I fall asleep and become him at night. I would lose like 15 years of my life.
Pretty busy.
Yeah.
What?
Room service.
I didn't order anything.
There's a man under the trolley.
Surprise!
Ricky!